to, hold on a second. I keep forgetting about it. That is what it is. But what's going on to all my Aries out there? Please make sure to get the book at Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box as usual. So finally got my ring light to work. Back at it, right? Tell me how it is that y'all like the intro and the outro of this video. I'm trying to step up my quality for everybody. So I would really appreciate it if I got some feedback. Yeah, please make sure to get the book at Amazon.com. The links will be in the description box below as usual. So the cards that I come up with are the Magician, King of Wands, Four of Cups, Five of Cups, Three of Pentacles, the Hermit, Seven of Coins, Four of Swords, the Fool, Death card, you have the Ten of Pentacles, Coins, same thing, Ace of Cups, Strength card, Two of Wands, and last but not least, we have the Nine of Swords. So for the Aries, I'm seeing how a lot of the Aries are trying to reach out to someone, but the person is skeptical of you. The Magician, King of Spears, let me just show you it specifically, right? The King of Wands, Four of Cups. This is you reaching out to them. This is you, same people, essentially. Not technically, but I mean like the same energy of you reaching out to this person, trying to say what's up to them, them sitting there, right? You're offering a cup to them. They're not necessarily accepting it, right? The Five of Cups, this is them essentially doubting you. They don't necessarily see your intentions as being pure of heart. They don't. And you have the Three of Pentacles. They don't necessarily know if you're really serious about being in a relationship with them. So the things that the Hermit represents, so you have these people who collectively who are essentially playing games with you, right? They're playing games, or they're paranoid, and they ultimately end up playing a game anyway, regardless of whether or not they are trying to mess with you deliberately, because they're paranoid as to if you're playing a game with them. See, that's where it is that the games stems from. It's paranoia. You have a lot of people who are paranoid and overly worried about certain things that happen in their lives because they're a little bit too precautious. And because of this oftentimes it has people in a situation where they often do a lot of manipulative things in order to try to measure a person's true intent. And the reality of the situation is that they'll never know a person's true intent unless they learn to trust the person and actually take a risk. You know, the thing is that the Seven of Coins represents how you're going to have this person who is pretty much reluctant to get to know you. Sorry to say it. And the Four of Swords, they're essentially jerking your chain. They're pulling your chain. They are essentially trying to see how much you really like them by trying to get you to chase after them. And the Fool and the Death card both represent how you're not going to be chasing them for long at all. These people, you Aries will eventually decide to move forward because it's a waste of time trying to chase after someone. See, I love that spell. See, the name of the game quote unquote games. There is no game. But the name of the game is love. And if people want to be in love, people, again, they have a hard time because of their ego. But people don't seem to understand there is no other option. It's mandatory. If they want to be in love, love has to be mutual. And the boats of the sides have to chase each other. One has to do the chasing sometimes. The other one has to do the chasing, therefore making it mutual. Both people are chasing after each other. See, the problem is that with a lot of people, what happens is that they spend so much time trying to get one person to chase after them and chase and chase and chase. Ultimately, what happens is that the person, when they finally get you, they end up getting bored and dumping you, or they end up cheating on you. And I'm not saying you specifically, Aries. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the particular partner, whoever it is, whatever zodiac sign, this is the reason why it is that so many, part of the reason why so many, or one of the reasons I should say, why so many people end up getting cheated on. Part of the reason is because of the fact that you have people who are trying to get other people to chase so much to the point where it's not really a relationship. It's more of a parasitic vampiric relationship where one side is too chicken to really actually open up to the other side, and the other side is too optimistic, malignantly optimistic, to understand that this person is essentially draining you of your attention and that you need to essentially move forward and stop playing this game with this person. And so what happens is that you have the Ten of Pentacles. You, Aries, come to a very grounded approach in leaving them alone. A lot of you Aries are like, look, I tried to deal with this person. They did all this running around. They're trying to get me to chase. I'm out. Love should be mutual. So then things that you have, the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups and the Strength card represent how the Ace of Cups is about how you're starting to get a better idea of what it is that you're looking for, right? The Ace of Cups represents, this is something that you want love, but the Strength card represents you want this person to be into you just like you are into them. You want this person to show you effort, right? We all do. However, the Three of Spears and the Nine of Swords, Three of Wands, right? Spears, same thing. Three of Wands and the Nine of Swords represent how you are keeping it pushing. But I will say here that the Ace of Cups and the Strength card is really the centerpiece of where your heart is in this particular reading, because a lot of the Aries, again, as I said before, a lot of people don't know this, but Aries people are hopeless romantics. And a lot of the times, Aries people really want love, but the situation is, due to certain things in the Aries' lives, they don't love for them isn't really something that goes as planned. So let's get into this. Let's clarify the Ace of Cups. Yeah, I've been there myself too, just in case if anybody was wondering. I've been there myself too. I actually was there with an Aries about 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I was there, with that person. They thought that I might have been playing a game and all this other type of stuff, and I really wasn't trying to play a game, but I had, like I said, I had to let this person know, because I talked about this in my other video, but I tried to let this person know that I was trying to get to know them slowly, and this person said, hey, I'll go ahead and hit you up tomorrow or the next day. And then they didn't. But at the same time, it's like, they kind of trying their hardest to duck and dodge me and stuff like this, jumping in the bushes and all this other type of stuff. So, You know what I'm saying? And it's an Aries, you know, and you know, I don't even take it personally. So to clarify the Strength card, you have the Queen of Cups, Seven of Cups, Eight of Cups. Okay, so again, you want someone who is just as passionate about you as them, right? You want someone who's passionate about you. You want Seven of Cups. You don't want a kind of a relationship. You want a relationship that is makes you feel like you're lucky, but not one that is of non-equity. You don't want to be in a relationship that's not fair, right? One person has all the attention and quote unquote leverage. The Eight of Cups, you want a lot of communication. You want a lot of new levels of understanding. You want to get to areas in your love life that a lot of people, and more so specifically you, don't really get to, if ever, let alone rarely. So in order for you to do that, both sides has to stop playing games. You know, too many times, a lot of people say that they stop playing games, but when someone walks straight up to them or get their exchange numbers and they start talking to them and they say, hey, listen, I'm not trying to manipulate you. Here we go with the paranoia. The person starts thinking that the person's trying to manipulate them right after they just told the person that they're not trying to play games with them. So we're at a place right now where you can tell someone that you're not playing a game with them and really be serious that you're not playing a game, and people still think you're playing a game with them. So to clarify the Ace of Cups, you have the Chariot, the Queen of Wands, you have the Four of Cups. So to clarify these three cards, clarifying the Ace of Cups, the Chariot, Queen of Wands, and the Four of Cups represent how you Aries, right? The Chariot is about how you have to keep it pushing in the context of love. You have to keep finding out what do you need in love, right? Like, what are your boundaries? You know what I mean? Like, figuring out what are the things that you're not willing to put up with will first and foremost give you a very good idea of what you want to see in the context of loving someone. Like, for me, the games, number one, the silly games that people are interested in, I'm not interested in that. The humiliation, you just making yourself look like a jerk. You know what I mean? You just making yourself look like a jerk. You know, every time I interact with you, you're just insulting individuals and just out of pocket. You know, you can't go to a library without getting into an argument. The humility, I'm not interested. The hitting, both ways, not interested. You know, and the thing is that as I'm getting to know someone and they're showing me these traits, you know, the hitting, the humiliation, the neglect in that sense, where you know this person is trying to get you to chase after them by being distant, you know, just being a little bit too distant. Definitely not into that stuff. That's a no too. So it's like, the thing is that for you, the Chariot is about, you have to figure out what are the things that you don't want, Black Dragon, and the things that you do want, White Dragon, so that you have a better understanding of what are your boundaries, what are not your boundaries, as a result of figuring out what your boundaries are. And now it'll be time to figure out, like, how to go about getting the relationship you want. The Queen of Wands, if you like for me to help you with that, you always feel free to contact me, Kareemspiritworks.com. My prices have went up $20. It's not destroying your pockets, okay? I'm still the cheapest I'm still very cheap on YouTube. Go ahead, check around if you don't believe me. I have nothing to hide. The Queen of Wands, right? The Queen of Wands represents that you may think that you have been fated ill cards, so to speak, in the context of your fate in love. And the Four of Cups represents how it is that you have equal opportunity just like anyone else does. It's just that it's only your ego it's only your own paranoia that's getting you into thinking that you're not worthy of it, or you've been dealt a terrible hand. What it actually is that a lot of the times with Aries people in general, I'm talking about the psychological profile of the zodiac sign Aries. Number one, Aries has a problem because Aries can't see what's right in front of their face. And the paranoia is a real thing with everyone, but in general, talking about specifically Aries, the paranoia is a real thing in that way because they can't see what's right in front of them. I've had plenty of Aries people who I couldn't hang out with anymore because they thought it would make sense in their own paranoia slash fear to do crazy stuff. And I'm talking about people who, long before you knew me on YouTube, Aries people, right, that I was dating, and they would pick a fight. Like I remember this one time that I had actually encouraged this person to get a job at McDonald's, and the next day they told me that they got the job, and then the day right after that they proceeded to cuss me out. So it's like that's one of the things too that Aries need to really learn. If you're going to be in a relationship, you're going to have to get out of your own way in the sense of the craziness, the craziness, the combativeness, the trying. Cut that out, because you're turning people off by doing that type of stuff, okay? Another thing too that the Aries can kind of help them shift things into their favor is number two. Stop going for people who are a little bit too rough around the edges, and start interacting with people who, number one, you have a lot in common with, and number two, they're not playing a role. Comment on the video.